Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the hopeful elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Got to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, the Most High, the Heavenly Father. His Hebrew name is Yahweh, not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua. It's Yahweh Shai. So God give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rekah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether you can accept it or not. And the sincere salutation to all the ark pushing the truth and believing in truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Akwath who are listening and learning. There are a few sisters who are listening and learning. I'm Isaiah from the GMS Orlando camp, coming at you another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and edification. Another daily edification. The Lord's willing. This be edifying. This is for educational purposes only. This is not for monetary gain. I do not own the copyright to this video. This is for educational purposes only. Lord's willing. It be edifying. I'm going to title this lesson, Women Who Agree with Isaiah 4:1. Lord willing, be edifying.
The last video I talked about being in a polygamy relationship, and yes, saying it again, I am in a polygamy relationship for more than a year now, and alhamdulillah, I am content with it, I'm happy with it, and I want to share with you some insights and how to keep it positive, running, and happy. So, first things first, I'm going to tell you about 5 reasons why I accepted polygamy, okay? So the first reason is that the society that we live in has this invisible ranking chart of something they call wife material. Okay, so for women, it's much more difficult and challenging to rank high in that chart of being called wifely material, because when a man is looking for a wife, what they look at their age, they look at the body size. You can't be bigger or taller than the man. Your appearance, if you're beautiful, your marital status, if you are divorced, you're single, you're widowed, if you have children, if you don't, and your education, like how educated are you, if you have a PhD or master's, girl, if you have been exposed to, let's say, a westernized lifestyle, or if you're too westernized or exposed to too much Western lifestyle. Also, they look at your family background, if you come from a broken family or if you come from a combined family. So they look at so many factors when they're choosing a woman or categorizing a woman as marriage material, right? And the more you check all these boxes, the more you rank higher in the chart. And if you check lesser boxes, you rank lower. So this is just the reality of the world we're living in, or the society we're living in. And some of these things are not in most women's control. Like, women can't control what family they are brought up in. They can't control their appearance. So all of these things just make women rank a little different in the chart. So you'd find that there's so many women who ranking lower in this chart, and it becomes a bit more challenging for them to find partnership in life, right? I have come across family members of mine. I've had so many family members. I've had in-laws that I've lived with. I've had friends who have gone through challenges in finding the right person, the right man, because probably that they ranked a little lower in the chart. Maybe because they were too educated. They had a master's and a PhD, and they were like, okay.
The reason is because Esau Edom gave our women liberty to gather abroad. It tell you in the scriptures, keep your daughter in straitly, lest she abuse herself for overmuch liberty. Right? That's a scripture. Then the other scriptures say that give water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gather abroad. Because if it was a righteous woman that came from a righteous household, which she's going into, that's the reason, because of the background, because of the father and the mother and the grandfather and the grandmother who taught the father and the mother not these laws of Yahweh Shema Shah. So everything is off because of why? Because the wicked rulership, man. So you have been given liberty to gather abroad. So now you setting your standards according to wickedness, not according to righteousness. So that's why she going into it while women's don't have men. Why they ain't married. They 30 and 34 and they care about their career. They trying to get their career lined up, trying to make sure they secure the bag. And now you want to get old talking about you looking for a guy. When all your years after getting a virginity, from the point of virginity to 30, 35, now you trying to look for a guy at 35, 36. Come on, man. And she's going into it. We have been westernized, man. And the only ones that's going to come out of this being westernized are the elect of Israel. The men and women of the Israelites.
Maybe because they reached 30 and above and they couldn't find partnership by then, so they rank even lower. People be like, why is she not married at this age? Probably they're exposed to Western lifestyle.
Exactly.
Like, I don't want to marry her. So there are amazing, beautiful women out there who just unfortunately don't meet all these criteria and are ranked lower in that chart of marriage material.
And this is a good video. The title of her video is 5 Reasons I Accepted Polygamy as the First Wife. Her page is her channel, YouTube channel is Kamarala. Check it out. It's really good. But she's in Islam. This is a Jake. Well, she seemed like she could be a Jake. She could be a heathen, but she looked like a Jake. But she's in Islam. But look, these heathens always keep our customs, man. Ishmael came under the custom, right? They came under these customs because they Abraham's seed. And most of these heathens keep all our customs, but we can't keep them, man. You see why? Because of the curses. But she got her head covered up. You can tell she got on the dress. These are the things we're supposed to be rehearsing the right acts of the Lord, men and women. Play a little bit more of this, and I got another clip.
So what happens is I've seen them. I have been so close to these women in my life. Like I've had close family members, close in-laws, close friends who are just looking for companionship and are looking just to find a good man. And as the more the time goes and they're not finding the right man, their age also continues going, and it gets even more difficult for them.
Right. And it's going to continue to be that way until what? The Lord saying in Isaiah 6 and 9, until the world be left without inhabitant, man. Because the righteous women going to do what? They're going to cleave to that righteous man. The Lord going to put the spirit on them. Let's check this out.
Like I've said so many times, like I understand, polyandry, and I understand, the women's rebuttal with polyandry. But here's the thing. A lot of times, a lot of the sisters that bring up polyandry, my issue with that is you're not bringing it up because you necessarily really want to partake in polyandry. You're not saying it because you think that's going to solve some issues in the black community. You're saying it just to be tit for tat because you don't like the idea of polygyny. Listen, if you're agreeing or accepting polygyny as a form of relationship depends on whether someone else accepts another form of relationship, then you're just not down with it. You can say, I'm just not down with it. You can be real. You don't have to pull rebuttals out the ass that really ain't got shit to do with shit just to have something to say. Sisters, we do that shit a lot. We sometimes we have to really address the fact that I'm really emotional about this. I'm really upset about this idea of polygyny. I'm angry because it doesn't feel fair. It doesn't feel fair to me. Why doesn't it feel fair to you? What about that doesn't feel fair? Let's really dive in. Let's really dive into that. Can anybody? I know there's some sisters on here that don't agree with polygyny. You can voice it. Let's talk about it. What about polygyny doesn't seem fair? For some reason, we think that polygyny is all about the man. And in that way, aren't we being patriotic and saying that women ain't shit? Because I view my sisters.
Nah. Key factor, it is about the man. But you got to understand what she's saying. She's talking to the sisters about being joined to this household. And she's going to explain. I had to correct that because it is about the man. Because without a man's seed, there would be no children. But you got to understand what she's talking about. She's talking to the sisters about not being offended, dealing with a house full of sisters with one brother. That's why I'm going to title the lesson, according to righteousness. This how it shall be in the kingdom of heaven, which shall be here on earth. This is according to righteousness, man. And there's a lot of sisters out there, Negro, Latino, Native American, West Indians, and Haitians, that's with it, man. Why? Because the Lord has put it in their spirit. Because we are about to come to this point real soon. Hey, the Lord said he'll make a man more precious than fine gold, right? So it is about the man, first and foremost. Let's read this. This is Isaiah 32:2. And it reads, and a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest. Let's read this again. Isaiah 32:2. And a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. And the eyes of them that see, who? It said a man shall be a hiding place. For who? For the women. It said, in the eyes of them that see, which is the women, shall not be dim, and the ears of them shall hear. It said, and the ears of them that hear shall hearken. So this is the ones going to come in order, man. The Lord gonna put the spirit on them to do so. A man shall be as a hiding place for the woman, and a righteous man hiding place is Yahushua. Okay, you got to understand this. A man shall be as a hiding place. This is Isaiah 13:12. And it reads, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man in the golden wedge of Ophir, which is the finest gold on the planet Earth you're going to find. I will make a man more precious than fine gold. Why? Because he shall be a cover. He shall be a hiding place. These are the men that the Lord is building up. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. You see? So this is the Lord going to make these men this way to do what? The 144 got to protect women when Jacob trouble break loose, man. These women got to be protected by the elect men, whomever they are. So the man is the most important. But what she's going into is, you sisters got to come in order, not be offended of this, man. Because this is our custom. This is our custom. These are our custom. This is our heritage. This is our inheritance, man. This is how we were. When we came over here, when we got off the slave ships, I guarantee you, man, it was women that was cleaved to one man. Okay? It wasn't no one woman, one man. When we came over here on slave, when they snatched us up from over here out of Africa, it was like that, man. Okay? Men had multiple women, man. We was beat to accept the ways of the heathens. What did the Lord say in Hebrew in Jeremiah 10? Verse 2 said, learn not the way of the heathen. We got to come out of this and reverse and go back to the righteous acts of the Lord. Period.
So highly that regardless of the man being in this situation, I always got sisters at my house. I always got women around me. I love black women and I value black women so much that I love having them in my home. I would love a communal situation with me and a whole bunch of women in a big ass house, regardless of if a man is there. A man being there would just be the best thing for me. But what I'm saying is, I value us so much that I'm not gonna sit here and say polygyny is all about the man, knowing I'm getting more sisters. I'm getting more help around the house. I'm getting more nurturing souls to be around. I'm getting more around more diverse skill sets. You know what I mean? I'm being around more mothers for my children. I'm being around more children. You know what I mean? Like,
see, this is the mentality of you Israelite women. This is how you should be thinking, man. You have been so brainwashed by being westernized, you can't function without walking every day being westernized. You can't see it, but it's women out here. I'm talking about, I ain't talking about 10 to 20 or 100. It's thousands upon thousands of women that's ready for this, man. Because it's just right.
Like some of us like kids out here. You know what I mean? Like, is it weird? It seems natural for women to love to be around children. I thought that was innate and natural. You know what I mean?
Right.
My sister is not my competition. She's my teammate. Exactly. You know, and so when I hear responses like that, you've always heard me say I don't have a problem with polyandry. I'm gonna tell you who I think partakes in polyandry more realistically. And let's backtrack. You hear me say all the time, like, I think a lot of us date polyamorously. Like, I don't have a problem with people dating. I don't have a problem with a lot of shit. It's not that it's a problem. I just feel like some things are more solution oriented and the others are just for our pleasure versus what's best for the community. And I think that our individualistic mindset has really been tearing away at our community.
Right.
It's divisive. You know, it's individual. It's not thinking of the...
And what is that? Seeking Yahweh B'Shem Awashah, man, and rehearsing the righteous acts of the Lord. This is what it boiled down to. Tapping into our source. Tapping into our power, which is the Heavenly Father Yahweh, B'Shem Awashah, man. Without Yahweh and Yahushua, we will be destroyed, man. We will stay westernized until the world be destroyed. That's why Isaiah asked the Lord, how long shall they be like this? Seeing they see not and hearing they hear not. He said, until the earth be without inhabitants, man. Till the earth be done away, burnt up, man.
The community as a whole, and that's the problem. We don't try to help each other and solve the problems of the community more. We just like, I'm just going to solve my own problems, and we leave the community out to dry.
And brother said it all the time. The head brother in the camp always say that. Hey, Jake always, when Jake get a little money, all they think about is themselves, their family, and that's it. But what about the rest of Israel? Right? Even though we know 2/3, but still, you got these Jay-Z's and these P. Diddy's and these Dr. Dre's who's always in the top richest black men in America and all that. What about the rest of the Israelites, man? Whether they 2/3 or righteous. What about the rest of Israel, man? As a whole. The only way we're gonna do this is rehearsing the righteous acts of Yahweh B'Shem Awashah. Right? Because this is what? This is our wisdom in the sight of the nations. You got these heathens keeping our customs and we can't even do it because of the curses. How long you Jace gonna stay bugged out and don't want to return, man? But it's okay because it's the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Awashah.
You know, and a lot of people and a lot of our children end up getting the brunt of that, you know? So it's just, for me, I'm looking at what's really going to help the community. You know, we can sit here and be selfish all day and say, well, polyandry, no. Okay, polyandry is cool. Like, at the end of the day, I think that anybody can love more than one person at a time. Like,
and that's wrong with you women. You women are selfish, man. You women are selfish. Thinking about, oh no, I ain't sharing my man with nobody. Well, hey, you either gonna get it right on this side, or you gotta come back in the kingdom as a baby and be born into it. But it's gonna be right. You can get it together now. And if you don't want to do this now, that means you are not trying to rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord. That means you can't be giving all praise to Yahweh B'Shem Awashah because you don't mean it. You women are selfish, man. And you being selfish is going to cause you to lose your life. Because guess what? This is Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 1. And it reads, and in that day, what day? It's going to be in the midst of Jacob's trouble, man. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, this is how we know it's going to be in the midst of Jacob's trouble. We will eat our own bread, meaning now they're going to get in order and follow the dietary laws. We will eat our own bread, meaning they're going to eat the dietary law food. Ain't going to be no more eating shrimp, crabs, and lobster. None of that. They ass going to get in order. We will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. So now they in that day they gonna put on dresses. Faithfully gonna have on dresses. Only let us be called by thy name, which is a woman always takes the man's last name, to take away our reproach. That's how you know it's gonna be Jacob's trouble, because it say to take away our reproach. What reproach? Being left, no food, going homeless. Some women with kids gonna be getting destroyed. Some women gonna be getting chased down, about to be getting raped. Like when you watch the movie Training Day, when they passed by and the two bums were finna rape the young Northern Kingdom chick, right? That's gonna be happening for real. If you ever seen Training Day, go back and watch it. When they was passing by in the alleyway, they saw the two guys was about to rape the young lady, the young girl, the young maiden. That's gonna be happening literally for real in Jacob's trouble. So in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, a righteous man, not a thug, because they gonna all these street guys, these thugs, these gangsters, they gonna be dead. And the rest of them that don't get destroyed here, they don't get drafted to the war. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread. They're gonna follow dietary laws, they're gonna cook and wear our own apparel. They're gonna be in order what the Lord said you're supposed to have on, which is dresses. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. The reproach is all the calamity that's going to be going on. That's why I tell you in Isaiah 32. Let's read this to make the point. Isaiah 32:9. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. At this point, you at ease. Why? Because you've been westernized. Hear my voice, you careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall you be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail. When you look at the word vintage, it means where you work at, your workplace. For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Ain't gonna be no you making no more $100,000 a year or $200,000. Ain't gonna be no more hood, Section 8 habitat housing, government assistance, stamps. Ain't gonna be no more of that. For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble ye women that are at ease, be troubled ye careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. Ain't gonna be no more fine linens and all that. I tell you that in Isaiah's 3rd chapter, starting at verse 16 all the way down to 25. Ain't gonna be no more of that. You're gonna be mourning, looking for somebody to cover you. That's why I say a man shall be as a hiding place. It say, tremble you women that are at ease, be troubled ye careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vines. All these things are going to be gone, man. Okay? It say, upon the land of my people shall come up thorns and briars, yea, upon all the houses of joy in the joyous cities. So these things, it's going to be thorns and briars when you look at the movie I Am Legend. What we're growing up in the streets, because we know people inhabiting it. And when it said, when he went into that store, and he was trying to talk to the mannequin, what did he say? Just speak to me. Right? It tell you that in 2nd Ezra, a man should desire to hear another man's voice and should not be able, man. These things is about to play out. The zoo's going to be loose. Wild animals going to be loose. It tell you in 2nd Ezra that wild beasts shall be out of place. It's going to be all type of animals out here. Hey, they just released a dude the other day from Rikers Island. They say he was a murderer. They released him by accident. Well, there ain't going to be no accident that day. I don't know if you've seen it, but they released a guy the other day from Rikers Island. He was allegedly a murderer. It's going to be real killers out here that's going to be released from prison. Okay? And they're going to be on the loose. Pedophiles, murderers, it's going to be rapists. They're going to be everywhere. And if you women don't come on an order, Yahweh Shema Shah, you're going to be destroyed, man.
Period. But for me, like, the structure that benefits the black community is what I'm looking to.
Exactly.
That's what I'm looking, because I want for the black community to be better.
What's the structure? And it ain't black. It's different. We different shades of brown. We so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Hebrew Israelites. 12 tribes. Respected tribes. But we understand what she's saying. What's the stability of it all, man? It's the foundation is tapping back into our power, our source. This is our wisdom in the sight of the nations. This is our standard, integrity. Yahweh Shema Shah got a standard. It's called integrity, man. And the only way you can get that is with this truth. There's no other way. Like it's saying John 10 and 1. There's no other way, man. Matter of fact, let's read that. It's John 10 and 1. And it reads, Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the doors into the sheepfold, but climb up some other way, the same as a thief and a robber. You can't come up no other way, man.
So that's where I come. You know, that's where I come. It's not that I'm pushing polygamy because, you know, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to do. This is, for me, it's just something that we need to be open to because we need to be getting ready to figure out how to orchestrate this for our children.
What? Jacob's trouble coming, man. And that's basically what she's saying. We need to try to figure out how we going to get out of this.
Ultimately, we going to be the testers right now. Our generation is not used to polygyny. We going to be the testers right now. Understood. We got to kind of iron these kinks out, but we got to be open to the conversation.
Facts. That's just great facts. Now, this is Exodus 21 and 10. If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage, shall he not diminish? And if he do not these things unto her, then he shall let her go out free without money. So, this is something you got to do. It's just something you got to do, man. If you do take another wife, you got to provide. You got to be, if you can't do it, you got to let it go. That's why the Lord say, it's not time for us right now to do this. But you should be rehearsing this, you women. You're supposed to be ready to fall in line with this when it right now, rehearsing it, so when it happens, you won't have which the Lord will put the Spirit on you to do it anyway, but you should be practicing this anyway, because this is how the kingdom shall be established, meaning the people. This Zechariah 8 and 1. It reads, Again, the word of the Lord Yahweh of hosts came to me, saying, Thus said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, I was jealous for Zion with great jealousy, and I was jealous for her with great fury. Thus said the Lord Yahweh, I am returned unto Zion, and will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and Jerusalem shall be called a city of truth, and the mountain of the Lord Yahweh of hosts, the holy mountain. Thus said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, there shall yet old men and old women dwell in the streets of Jerusalem, and every man with his staff in his hand for very age. And the streets of the city shall be full of boys and girls playing in the streets thereof. Okay? You see that? When you read down to verse 15, hey, go read the chapter, man. The point is about establishing our sons and daughters, right? This Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 22. Because all these wacky Christians say ain't going to be no sex in the kingdom. Well, how the streets going to be full of sons and daughters? Isaiah 60 and 22, it say, a little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. Our Lord Yahweh will hasten it in his time. You see, how is this going to happen without sex, man? This is Isaiah 49 and 22. And it reads, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, behold, I will lift up my hand to the Gentiles, and set up my standard to the people, and they shall bring thy sons in their arms, and thy daughters shall be carried upon their shoulders. When you royal, you get carried. You see in the movie, you get carried on this little throne. You got 4 men toting it on their shoulder. Each of them got a stick on their shoulder toting the throne, right? That's royal, man. Again, it said, Thus said the Lord Yahweh power, behold, I will lift up my hand to the Gentiles, and set up a standard to the people, and they shall bring thy sons, talking about the elected Israel's sons, in thy arms, and thy daughters shall be carried upon their shoulders. You see? How is this going to happen? And kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers. You see? We're going to have people to watch our kids 24/7, man, because we're going to have servants. The point is about we're going to have kids in the kingdom. And how do you do this? It got to be through sex. It's Isaiah 11:8. That's the whole point of a woman, which is more than that, but it's for bringing back the nation, man. Isaiah 11:8, and the sucking child shall play on the hole of the asp, and the weaning child shall put his hand on the cockatrice den. What's a weaning child? That's a baby, man. But it ain't gonna be no sex in the kingdom. That don't make no sense. It is. This is Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 9. And the Lord Yahweh, thy power, will make thee plenteous in every work of thy hand, in the fruit of thy body, which is kids, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy land for good. For the Lord Yahweh will again rejoice over thee for good, as he rejoiced over thy fathers. Let's get to 1 Deuteronomy 28, which is the blessings. It's Deuteronomy 28 and 4. Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body, which is your kids, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. This is verse 11. And the Lord Yahweh shall make thee plenteous in goods, in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy ground, in the land which the Lord swore unto thy fathers to give thee. This is going to be in the kingdom, man. We're going back to following under the law, statute, and commandments. This is our 1 Timothy chapter 2. And let's start at 9. Wherefore, it says, in manner also, that women adore themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with braided hair or gold or pearls or costly array, but which becometh women professing godliness with good works. Let the women learn in silence with all subjection, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to use of authority over the man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in a transgression. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing, if they continue in faith and charity and holiness and sobriety. So, you got to bring back, the 2/3 is going to be put to death on this side. They got to come back in the kingdom through sex, man. Okay? They got to send now what it's 10 to 12 women to every man. Why is that, man? This ain't no myth. This is real. One man can't bring back his whole lineage with just one woman. Let's say I get salvation. I get saved. And my father and my brothers and my whole side of my father's side die. But I make it. I can't bring all of them back. It's going to take me 9 months at a time to bring them back. Right? And the woman still got to heal when she had a baby. So you can't go right back in there again, which we're going to have spiritual powers. We're going to be whatever. We're going to be all, righteous. So we probably can. But the point is, you need a woman. Once you have sex with a woman right now, she got to heal. You can't have sex with a woman every day of the week. She get bacteria. Her pH will be off. She got to heal, man. You can't have sex with a woman every day of the week. They got to heal. And that just, go look it up. You can see that for yourself. It ain't hard. Go to Google and search it out. You got to have multiple women to bring back a nation. It ain't just for sex. It's for nation building. And it's for to be what? You got helpmeets around the house. So everybody be balanced. Ain't nobody working too much over here. And I'm talking about on this side. Ain't nobody working too much over here. She ain't working too much. I ain't working too much. She ain't working too much. It's a balance. Everybody don't got to work full-time jobs. But you women don't want to come under this order, which is from the Lord. But you say you love the Lord. You really don't. Because everything in these scriptures, y'all got a problem with it. Especially when it comes to that Isaiah 4 and 1. Oh, that's going to be in the kingdom. No, that's going to be on this side. Isaiah 4 and 1 going to play out on this side during the time of Jacob's trouble. So let me see if I can read this again. Zechariah 8 in verse 4. It says, thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, there shall yet old men and old women dwell in the streets of Jerusalem, and every man with his staff in his hand for very age. And the streets of the city shall be full of boys and girls playing in the streets thereof. Thus said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, if it be marvelous in the eyes of the remnant of this people in these days, shall it also be marvelous in my eyes, said the Lord Yahweh of hosts. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, behold, I will save my people from the east country and from the west country, and I will bring them, and they shall dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and they shall be my people, and I will be their power in truth and in righteousness. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, let your hands be strong, ye that hear in these days these words by the mouth of the prophets, which were in the day that the foundation of the house of the Lord of hosts was laid, that the temple might be built. You see, who is the temple? The elect men of Israel, lively stones. It say, verse 10, for before these days there was no hire for the man, nor any hire for beasts, neither was there any peace to him that went out or came in because of the affliction. For I set all men every one against his neighbor. But now I will be unto the residue of people, as in the former days, said the Lord Yahweh of hosts. So things going back in the righteous order, man. You see? Hey, so Lord, what is edifying? I gotta give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rikah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all Israel, whether you can accept it or not. In a sincere salutation to all the occupant pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. Shalom to the Akwath who are listening and learning, the few sisters who are listening and learning. Lord, what is edifying? Until next time, I say shalom. The water for tuning in. May Yahweh Shema shall continue to bless you in your houses. Stay prayed up. Hey, this is a part of our wisdom and knowledge. And we got to tap back into our source, our power, which is the Heavenly Father Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah. Shalom.